Hey there, it's Lindsay with Silhouette America, and I am going to show you one way you can use the fabric paint by making a doormat like this one. Alright, so the first thing that you want to do is get your design, and then we want to resize it to the size we want it. So what you want to do is figure out the size of your mat, and then you can determine how big you want your design. So for mine, I want mine to be 30 inches long, and so to change that, we want to go to the scale settings window and then click on that, and then under specify dimensions make sure that you select lock aspect ratio, and then I want the height of my design to be 30 inches, and then click apply, and so then it'll be about a little bit bigger than 9.5 wide. And then the next thing we want to do is change the size of our page. I'm going to use the 12 by 24 mat, and so to do that, go to page settings, and then change it to 12 by 24 cutting mat, and then change your paper to 12 by 24, and then it will automatically change your mat to go up and down instead of left and right. So after we've done that, this is going to be a stencil, so we need to make sure that we connect the centers to the design, and so we don't have to try and figure out where to place those when we're going to stencil it. So to do that, select the rectangle and make it about a 1/2 inch wide. So after you do that, so we want to connect that there, and then you just want to copy and paste this. And then place one right there as well. And then we want to put in one more up here at the top. And then to connect this one right here, I'm just going to copy and paste it again. Control C and Control V. And then just put this on a little rotate right here. And then I'm going to do one more just for good measure right here. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is select your design, and you want to make sure that it is you release the compound path, and then so they're all separate shapes. So what you want to do is you want to select your 3 shapes right there, and then we want to go to the modify window and then hit subtract, and it will connect it like that. And so do that with all of the places that needs to be connected to your design. So we can make a stencil. Oops. Okay, so after that's done, as you can see, my design is a little bit larger than the 12 by 24 mat. So what we're going to have to do is cut the design, and cut this piece separately than the other one. So to do that, come over here to the left and click on the knife, and then make sure the solid is selected, and then auto apply as well if you want to do that. Doesn't really matter. Anyways, then click and drag and hold shift to make it straight, and then as you can see, we'll get closer, that it separates it like this. So what we want to do now, it's all ready to be cut. Go to the cut style window right here. We don't want to cut this one, so hit no cut in this round like that, and then go to the cut style settings window, and then I'm going to use cardstock heavy, so I'm going to select the 80-pound one, and then I'm going to use the cutting mat as well, and then the blade should be at 5. Before I hit cut, I'm just going to make sure that I have it all loaded and ready to cut. Alright, so place your cardstock on the 12 by 24 cutting mat. If you don't have 12 by 24 paper, just use 2 12 by 12 sheets right next to each other. It works just as great as you will just need to tape 3 pieces together instead of 2. Make sure your blade is set to 5 and then hit enter to load your mat. Now that it's all cut, hit enter to unload and then peel off the stencil, making sure it won't rip, because that is the part we want to keep. Alright, now that we cut the big piece out, we just want to cut the piece down here. So what I would do is select all of it and then just arrow up to bring it to the very top so it stays in this exact same position, so it's easier to line up the stencil when we want to tape it together. So I'm going to bring it about right there, and then we want this piece up here to be no cut, and then but we want this just to cut out. So once you have that done, go to the page tools window, and then you want to change your paper to be 12 by 12 and then your mat to be 12 by 12, and then you are set to cut. Now what I did is place a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock onto the 12 by 12 cutting mat and then hit enter to load and then cut. And after it's all done, hit enter to unload and peel off the stencil carefully, and you're all done cutting. After you have all your pieces cut out, the next thing that you want to do is match up your design and then tape it together to make it one big stencil. I'm just using Scotch tape. So after you have pieced your stencil together, take a pair of scissors and cut out the pieces that aren't part of the design. If you have smaller pieces that you can't cut with scissors, you can use an X-Acto knife. Alright, so what you want to do next is place your design onto your doormat where you want it, and then get a sponge, fabric ink of your choice, paintbrush, and a tray. And then what you will want to do is use the sponge to apply the fabric ink. So I'm just holding down the stencil for more support, and I'm putting down a base coat so then I can go over the rest of the design with a paintbrush for more detail and fabric ink. Once you have that all done, you also want to make sure that you connect the design with fabric ink where we had to connect the centerpieces to the stencil. When you are all done, it should look something like this. For more projects using the fabric ink, visit our blog at blog.silhouetteamerica.com. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.